Are we rolling? This is the rewind. Can I use that?
I hope we can. Let's just
rewind. We're going. I hope that was recording. This is the rewind. TexAgs, I'm Ryan Broniger. That's Matt Browning. That's Chase Hernandez. They joined me in the 10 o'clock hour for the fan show. We had OB. We had Stephen McGee. We had Aaron Torres. We had Coach Schlossnagel. We had Logan Lee and Tap Bentz. NCAA Tournament starting today, boys. We're not real excited.
I am.
Not as excited as we could be.
Not as excited as you could be. I'm kind of out. I've still got a bracket to fill out. Games are starting here in 15 minutes. Let's go around the rewind. TexAgs Radio.
I don't think anybody's going to win the job. I think it's Haynes' job to lose, right? But I think that Max Johnson can prove to this staff that he is going to be able to compete for the job in August. And I think it's a big opportunity for him as well to earn respect in the locker room. I think he's already done that with his play on the field against this locker room, right? He gutsy performance. He's competitive. But I think that I think most Aggie people and people around the program are going to come away this spring impressed by Max Johnson's physical abilities as well as his mental abilities. I think he's going to be further along than what most people would expect. Jimbo's offense is very complex. It's a difficult system for a young guy to pick up or any new guy. And we've talked about that at length. But I think Max, with his background, having a dad that played how many years in the NFL, 15, 19 years, whatever it was, you can tell by the way he played at LSU. The guy just understands football and X's and O's. And I really believe that this is going to be a closer quarterback competition than what most people would think, both in and out of the program. I think that he's a better talented player than what he gets credit for.
Okay, well, I got two things. First one, I want to know what other sport did you play? Because I know it wasn't basketball, even though your dad was the basketball coach. And then,
why is that, OB?
Huh?
Why is that?
Well, because you've told me you didn't like basketball.
Well, in fairness, yeah, I don't understand basketball. I'm not. I did play basketball. My dad was a basketball coach, so I actually did play that.
Okay, my bad.
But I had to. So one of the best decisions, or I guess coercions, my dad gave me as a little guy was that when I got into seventh grade and track and field became a sport I could participate in, baseball got dropped. And he's like, you cannot sacrifice as an athlete speed, right? And so that really helped me, I think, get faster. And so that one really did. That was great advice from my dad. Now, not to say that baseball's bad, Bronny. I'm not saying that at all. In fact, all these good quarterbacks nowadays, like Mahomes and the different arm angles they're able to throw from that they learn on the baseball field, I think that's great. But I do think that speed matters today, especially in the zone read option stuff.
Okay.
Well, you nailed it, Bronny. I mean, you have a good feel for exactly what's going on. Is as the head coach, at least, try to stay. You kind of have to do both, right? So I'm super competitive. As I've said on this show before, my number one fear in life is to let somebody down. So I want to win today. I want to win every game. I don't care who the players are. We all chose to come here. We all chose to be a part of this group. Some of the guys we inherited and some of the guys we brought in. But the second that we took the job, these players became our players. So there's never going to be a thought process ever of, well, wait till you get this or wait till you get that. We decided to be here, so it's our job to coach these guys up and get the most out of them, and it's their job to give us their best effort, which for the most part they have. So, you kind of have to have like a microscope and a telescope, and telescopically you're looking long term. You're staying on the recruiting to the various classes. You're trying to do things like facility and stuff like that in the big picture. But you're also, I'm fully committed to helping Ty Hodge turn a better double play. Help us. We got to find a way to get Xavier Lovett to throw more strikes. And so it's all of that. And it is, frankly, it is frustrating because frustrating for me, not anybody else, because I want to be able to do it all. I want to be able to be fully committed, which I am. And when I say I mean our staff, to bring in a great winner here. And nobody wants to see Bluebell Park, full and great baseball more than me. And Tuesday night was that. And I told the players we missed a golden opportunity. Fans came out. I don't know if that was a spring break thing, if it was the basketball thing, but we had an awesome crowd, and we let them down. And I didn't sleep Tuesday night because of that. But we're gonna keep pushing and see if we can't go win a ball game. And then the challenge is to go win the next day. And but I'm fully confident in the long term of this program. But I also want to be fully confident in the day to day. And everybody, as I said in my press conference, every single ounce of our staff is being put into helping this team win.
Well, looking at the day-to-day, we got to ask about some of the health statuses. I know that you said Ryan Targach was seemingly the closest at all those infielders that you've got hurt. Can you update us on his status heading into the weekend?
Yeah, he moved around some yesterday, didn't do any baseball activity, but went through the movement warm-up with the players, ran a little bit. So it's, according to the training staff, it's a deal where he's, every day should be a little bit better. So he'll go with us this weekend. He'll be active on the roster. And then, whether it's tomorrow or at some point this weekend, maybe we can get him out there.
Back-to-back tough starts for Nathan Detmer. Has that changed your approach going into the weekend in terms of how you're going to set those starters up?
Not yet. It could after this weekend, but because we had the doubleheader, Micah pitched well, but he didn't have his best stuff, best command. He really just was super gritty, which we need more of, frankly, out of some other guys in the rotation. But he was super gritty, and he threw a lot of pitches it was a 7-inning game, and I think he threw 100 pitches in 6 innings. I was taking him out after the 5th, and he just practically tackled me in the dugout, and I let him talk me into going back out there. And I said, all right, you got a batter by batter. If somebody gets on, you're coming out. And, he said, just let me go. I feel great. Let me throw one more, try and save arms for the next game. And so Nathan, didn't last quite as long. So even though would both be throwing on somewhat shorter rest, Detmer threw significantly fewer pitches. So we're just going to go with it for this weekend. And, I anticipate Nathan going out there and, being the best version of himself. And if he does, that'll give us a great chance.
Well, I was really excited till I saw you on that screen behind your. Before I saw myself on the screen behind you,
back there,
I look like I haven't slept in about 8 days, which is basically the truth. No, man, I'm really excited. I'm actually hosting radio this afternoon. Fox Sports Radio will be on live during all the games. It's just a really fun time of year, man. It's a really fun time, and I know obviously I understand the frustration of Aggies fans. I agree with the frustration of Aggies fans, but obviously if you can put that aside, and I'm not asking Aggies fans to, it is a really, really fun day in the sports world.
Logan, let's start with you. Buzz's reaction, the 7-minute rant, the 9-page report. What'd you think of it? And, I told, when talking to Aaron Torres about it, he said, that's typical Buzz.
Yeah, I mean, I thought we knew he was going to have something for us. We knew that he wasn't very happy, especially Olin was in the watch party with them, and I think as the story goes, after finding out that they weren't selected and they had been snubbed, it was. Buzz didn't say anything until he literally. And that's all that was said about it. You got to think that they were mightily ticked off, and I think he did a good job. He did a good job of not saying I think or I believe. He did a good job of stating the facts and saying this is why we shouldn't have been left out. These are the facts presented to everybody, and the facts state that we should be in the tournament. Instead of just saying, I thought our resume was good enough, should have been in, blah, blah, blah. He presented facts, and that's what he needed to do.
And to me, that's Buzz. Again, after every press conference, he starts talking. And I like the fact that he said, I have this type written because I don't want to get off on a tangent. He wanted to stay focused on that. And the fact that he said, I'm not going to take any questions after this. This is my only comment, and this is what I'm going to say. But, it's funny because going into that, I'm going to tell you, I've lived here 20-something years. I might have had semi-maroon colored glasses and stuff. But after this past week, I got full-on maroon-colored glasses. And it's just, what else can happen to this team? But I still think, and I texted Logan this, I still think this is more against the SEC, and A&M and Tennessee were both a pawn. Because I think the mid-majors and the other conferences are scared of the SEC controlling athletics. Who goes to the college football playoff every year and wins it? SEC. Yeah. Who has more teams in the College World Series every year? SEC. How can we control basketball? We can't let SEC get that power in basketball.
One, Logan, I love that Buzz wasn't cliche, didn't say something like this is out of our control. We only want to control what we control. I love that he addressed it. Maybe it does resolve itself in some sort of change in the future. But I also love the fact that, he didn't run from the my team was tired kind of thing. They clearly were tired. Like you can say all you want to about mental toughness, physical toughness, all that stuff. When you play, 5 games in 7 days?
Well, that was the NIT game.
Right. Yeah. Like you're going to lose a little bit of juice. And I think it just took A&M a little while to overcome that fatigue the other night, right?
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, I think it took about 18 minutes of the first half, game clock 18 minutes of the first half. They were down, and then you could feel that they got a little boost of adrenaline. There's too. They made a run. Their defense started picking up and locking down, and they made a couple of baskets. They actually took the lead. Alcorn State hit a 3 at the buzzer to tie it at the half. But in the second half, it kind of kicked in. Their juices started flowing. They said, "Okay, this is for you. Let's get this job done." And they made a run. I think they pushed it to 20 points at one time. Ended up winning by 12. It was a good game for them. But here's the thing. Just like Buzz and the guys didn't even say fatigue. There were a couple of questions about fatigue in the post-game pressers. I think Tyrese Radford was the one that answered and said, that's why we have boot camp. We go through all of this so we don't get tired. It doesn't have anything to do with fatigue or our leg being heavy or anything, when everybody knows it does. But the thing about it is, if they say that they are fatigued, then they actually feel worse than they do.
All right, Matt, tell them what to do.
We're going to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And then click the little notification bell, man, so you never miss a rewind.
He took it away from you.
That's all right. And leave a nice comment about us because we're awesome.